Let's talk about adult detransitioners today. A lot of the reason I continue to speak out and talk about my experiences is because I know that there is a limited amount of vocal out there adult detransitioners, people who transitioned in adulthood. And the reason I continue to speak out about this is because from what I have seen, when I have talked to other adult people who transitioned and then regretted it and detransitioned, when I've talked to them, we tend to share an amount of shame and embarrassment around the fact that we believed what we believed, the fact that we went down the road of transition, agreed to have body parts removed. And a lot of that shame comes from, I mean, I guess it just comes from this idea that adults don't make mistakes. I don't know, I think as I've been in the detrans advocacy arena for going on 3 years now, and the gender critical part of the world, and radical feminists, just a lot of people out there who are against trans ideology for many reasons, and they have valid points. So, but as I've been in this realm, something that continues to come up and again and again and again, and what seems to be most people who are against trans ideology, that's what seems to be on most people's radar, is they're against it because of the transitioning of kids. They're against it because young adults and children are being transitioned and transition and believe that they are trans. They're against that. However, many of these people will also say, we don't care what adults do. When you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. And for me, framing it like this, it makes me feel like, wow, like how much of a lame, fucked up person was I that I, as an adult, went down this road. And it also frustrates me because I feel like a lot of gender critical people are also regurgitating what trans rights advocates are saying as well, which is it's a choice, and a choice that should be made by somebody who's informed. When the fact is, it's not a choice because it's a medical treatment. And they want to say it's both. Trans ideology, TRAs, trans rights advocates, want to say that it is a medical, life-saving, necessary treatment and a choice. So I went to a therapist and got a diagnosis of gender dysphoria and was told that the best and pretty much the only treatment was to medically transition, which I did. Then found out that that was not the truth. It did not cure or fix my gender dysphoria. It made many things worse, and I stopped the treatment. And I am rightfully pissed off that I was given a treatment and told a treatment would work that has left me without body parts, and left my body altered permanently. I'm mad about that. I will die mad about it, yes. Don't worry. But I will say I will go and speak, this treatment was harmful. I think we should maybe take a second look at this treatment. And I'll get TRA saying, well, you made the fucking choice. You made the choice, so shut up. Okay, but like, how is it a choice if it's also a treatment? Like, Does a cancer patient have a choice in treatment? I guess they do. Their choice is to take the treatment that the doctor has offered them and says is the best treatment, or just die, or, just don't take the treatment and die. And that's the way it's framed too in trans ideology, right? It's life-saving. Remember, it's life-saving treatment. If they don't get it, they're going to kill themselves. Okay. But it's a choice. And GCs are kind of saying the same thing. They're saying kids can't make the choice, but adults can make the choice. Y'all are regurgitating the same thing. Stop doing that. Either it's a choice or it's a medical treatment. Maybe there's some gray area that it's both, but really, if something is a medical treatment and it is offered as a medical treatment by the professionals, then you can't really blame the person for making the wrong choice when they went to the professionals for help and got that treatment. So the way this works with adults is the same way it works with the kids, right? This is a treatment across the board. If it's not good for kids and young adults, it's not good for anybody. Now, if this wasn't a medical treatment, a sanctioned medical treatment for an emotional distress, if this was just a procedure done by plastic surgeons that you had to seek out and pay for out of your own pocket, then yeah, sure, that's a choice, I guess. And if it was a treatment you could pay for out of your pocket, and there was the option that there was an actual therapeutic approach and model to helping people with gender dysphoria, then you could say, all right, adult, you can either choose to go did the therapeutic treatment, or you can choose to just medically transition and alter your body. That's a choice. That is a fair choice for an adult to make. And I personally would never outlaw adults doing whatever they wanted with their bodies, with their own money. But it's a big difference between adults doing what they want and a treatment that is sanctioned by the medical establishment and by governments and the mental health community. So I guess that might be a little rambly, but I hope that got my point across a little bit about why it frustrates me when so much focus is on youth and kids. And I mean, I understand why it is, and I've been told this too by people who are advocates against this, by parent groups and stuff. I've been told, the kids are the low-hanging fruit here, right? We shouldn't be transitioning kids. This is most people can agree that you shouldn't be hurting kids. And I get it. I agree we shouldn't be hurting kids. And obviously, kids have to be protected. Number one, all the time out of society, but repeated again and again and again and again. And I hear this daily. Thank you for speaking out and protecting the kids. Thank you for doing this and protecting the kids and protecting the young adults and protecting the kids and protecting the young adults. And if I had been a young adult when this happened, I would have transitioned too. And it's like, okay, so what is that saying about the many adults who did transition? What are you saying? Are you saying, my feeling is, you were a dumbass, dude? Which I guess I can agree with. I was a dumbass. I was a hurt, fucked up dumbass who went to professionals and trusted them. The other point I want to make is this belief system is a harmful belief system all the way around for everybody, young and old alike. And it has affected young and old alike. And I think maybe my perspective is a little different because I'm a lesbian and because the idea of being transgender and transitioning has been in the lesbian community for many years. Many more years than what has been happening with teenagers. The first time I heard about transition was in 2001, but my wife, who's a little older than me and had been in the gay community a little bit longer than me, had already met trans-identified homosexual people who had started transition in the late 90s. So transitioning for gay people has been a thing for decades. And these are adults who do it. So maybe that's why it's a little bit different perspective. And also this transition stuff, you know, it hit really hard at the lesbian community in the late 90s and early 2000s. Really fucking hard. So many lesbians transitioned. And it just kind of stuck around, and then it kind of swung and hit hard again around, you know, 2000, I would say 2014 or 15, like when everything really jumped off for everybody. It hit the lesbian community like super hard again. And lesbians of many ages, adults as well as young and teenagers, transitioned. Numerous lesbians identify as non-binary now. Numerous lesbians, although they didn't identify as trans, had mastectomies as like a, I don't know, but I know of a few that who just elected to have, just decided, you know, that they wanted to have a mastectomy because they didn't want their boobs. So this ideology is harmful to everybody. The belief that your body's wrong and you have to like medically cut parts off that are offensive and shouldn't be there is a bad idea. I don't care which way you slice it. I don't care what age group you apply it to. Telling people they're born in the wrong body, telling people their bodies are wrong and that their emotional stress can be fixed by mutilating themselves is a fucking bad idea. It's a bad idea for everybody. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to keep saying it's a bad idea for everybody. I'm going to keep talking about how the idea of being transgender, trans ideology is a bunch of bullshit. It's harmful to people and it should not exist in our medical community. It's unscientific and it should not be a treatment. And the very ideology of trans ideology, in my opinion, is not a healthy thing to even have in a society. I would like to see it go away. The same way I'd like to see a lot of religions go the fuck away too. I don't like belief systems that tell people they're wrong. I don't like belief systems that tell people they have to jump through hoops to be accepted. I don't like belief systems that tell people they gotta hurt themselves and chop parts of their body off and hate themselves. I don't like it. So, yeah. There's probably a lot more adults out there, but most of them aren't going to step up and say shit because they feel like dumbasses. But you know what? If you're an adult who went down this path and you're an adult detransitioner, please try not to hold that shame. I say this as somebody who still struggles with the shame and the embarrassment, but don't hold on to it. Try to let it go. Try to be kind to yourself. Because if you're like me and you went to the professionals for help and this is the treatment they gave you, it's not your fault that this was the treatment. Also, even if it wasn't the professionals, you got influenced. You got, I feel I was brainwashed in a lot of ways by a social movement, by a religious belief. Basically, trans ideology is a religious belief. I fell into a religious belief. I fell into a cult belief, and I believed some really shitty things about myself that I shouldn't have, because I was looking for answers. We're all looking for answers, and some of these answers are really, really harmful. So I'll keep talking about this. I'll stay here, and if you're an adult detransitioner, it's okay. It's okay. We all make mistakes and we all go down this road and it's going to be okay.